So this time last year, my family went into 14 days of isolation, and I decided to do something that I'd been thinking about doing for many years, but just never got around to doing. I decided to start a blog. So every day of the 14 days, I wrote down what we did, how we felt, what was going on with us, and Lumi and Them was born. This year, I've decided to go back over what I wrote over those 14 days and just read them out to you. Just for fun, just to kind of compare what we're doing this year compared to what was happening last year. So I hope you enjoy them. Here goes. Monday, 16th March 2020. Day 0. Timmy came out of his class at pickup saying he was tired. "Sorry, darling," I said as I hurried to his teacher. I needed to speak to her about an idea I had. That day, I tried to entertain Tommy at home by pretending his home was nursery. We had pretended the teddies were his friends, and we had sang his welcome song and watched the accompanying video. He even had a packed lunch. This was to make up for him having to stay at home because he was ill over the weekend. He had a fever for 2 days with vomiting and a rash. It was a fun game, but I didn't have enough ideas, read, time, and patience to carry it on for too long, and he could not remember what other things they would do at nursery. Anyway, it gave me an idea. If Timmy had to stay home too because of a nationwide isolation order, it would be helpful to know what the daily routine was in school. What sort of activities they did, what videos they watched, what order of events, etc. This was what I was heading to Timmy's teacher to ask when I brushed him off. She wasn't very forthcoming, reassuring me that if they had to close the school, they would send work home. I didn't bother explaining that I just wanted a sense of what their day looked like so I could replicate it as part of a fun pretend game. It had already become clear that I needed to take Timmy home as soon as possible. She told me that he had been really tired during the day and had even started falling asleep during carpet time. So I shelved the idea of going to the park after school, a promise to Tommy, who had said that would serve as his nursery playground time, and I planned to head home. Timmy whined that he was too tired to walk to the car, and in the end he got on my back and was carried. So strapped to his car seat, he started to complain that his whole face was hurting. He rejected a brioche snack, unheard of, and soon began to cry. He was asleep before we got home, and when there, the thermometer confirmed a temperature of 38.8 degrees. Blast, I thought. I would have to isolate him. The guidelines at the time, and as a reminder, a letter in his book bag stated the same, were that anyone who had either a new cough or a temperature above 37.8 degrees was to self-isolate for 7 days. Technically, Tommy shouldn't have been taken into the school when I was doing the school run because of his weekend illness. But I was convinced it had been a reaction to the MMR vaccine. But now, with Timmy also spiking a temperature, it was clear it could not have been that. I was just considering how I would cope with trying to isolate Timmy for 7 days and kicking myself for not insisting that Miss Teacher give me an outline of the class routine when the Prime Minister announced on the news that the regulation had changed. It was now 14 days and it had to be everyone in the home. I called Lou at work, 2 hours away. "You either stay in Gaydon for 2 weeks or get ready to not be able to leave once you come back." He came back with some cowpaw. It remained undetermined after numerous conversations with every health professional I know, most of whom I'm related to, what was troubling Timmy's health. We were 93% convinced it was not COVID-19, but the guidelines must be followed, and to be honest, who really knows? I'm not sure what it would be like to not be able to leave the house for 14 days. I know we have enough support out there, so I'm not worried about running out of supplies. And to be honest, I have a feeling we're only a few days ahead of the rest of the country. I want to try and keep a written record of what we do with the time. I've been sent some ideas, and I'm excited about trying my hand at some form of homeschooling. Well, curious at least. I'm praying Lou and I stay well in mind and body throughout this fortnight. We need all the strength we can get. And right now, it feels like I have 0.
I hope you enjoyed that. And there'll be another one tomorrow.